Yo, what's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook land? Everybody? Hope everybody's doing all right. It's your boy JD, aka Mr. December. And y'all, it is good to be here. Listen, 2022, brand new year, brand new beginnings, and we are doing good. So, yeah, let's give everybody a little round of applause. Yo, that's a little something new. Y'all didn't know I could do that. Yo, we leveling up all 2022. You feel me? But listen, before we get into the show tonight, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to hit that like button. I need y'all to subscribe to the channel. And I need all of you to make sure you engage in the comments below. I think we're going to have a good discussion tonight. I think we're going to have a real good discussion tonight. So, listen, a couple things that I also wanted to get into first before we really get into the discussion. Y'all, time is precious, right? I want to, kind of relate to everybody how important our time is. You know what I'm saying? Because you never really know when your last day might be. And I don't mean to be morbid or to bring you down, the first of the year, or anything like that. But, you know, I think it's important for us to put what we find important first. I don't think that it should be just work all the time and just go all of the time. But we really need to take time out to slow down every once in a while and enjoy our family, enjoy your loved ones, and be able to make some memories in life, because life can be taken away just like that. I mean, just in my family, in the last couple months, we lost several loved ones, and just lost another one today. And when you really think about how you were younger, right, and you remember all of the older people you used to grow up around or look up to or whatever, and then it seemed like you put your head down for a little while, right, and then you look up and those people are passing on, and now you're beginning to be in the spot that those people were in back then when you were small. So it kind of makes you reflect on things a little bit, and kind of makes you put things in perspective. Because you know, when I leave here, I want to be able to leave, a legacy. So that dash that's in between the day that I got here and the day that I leave here, I want that to mean something. And I think that that's something that we really, really need to focus on going into the new year. At least I am going to do it. And another thing, too, I wanted to kind of give just a little bit of a refresher of why I wanted to start this channel. Um, I wanted to start this channel because you look around at our community, and just like I was saying a minute ago, the people that we used to look up to, most of those people were married. And it seems like that's not the case with us. Matter of fact, it didn't seem like it is the case. So I started this channel to kind of dig into some of the reasons of why the marriage rate is so low in our community and what we could do about it. And not just from my perspective, I wanted to get perspectives from other people. I talked to people from all different kinds of life about relationship topics or whatever, just what's going on in their life right now and some of the things that they experience. And I think that somehow there's a disconnect between what women say that they want and then the men that they want, and then sometimes vice versa. So I think we're missing each other. So we want to bridge the gap, right? And I think it's going to have to be more on, I don't want to say more on the spiritual side, but I think the spiritual side needs to give more practical guidance and wisdom when it comes to dating, marriage, and relationships. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of a brief overview. And to help me do this, I have two very, very special friends of mine that are here each and every week. And I think a lot of them. I know y'all think a lot of them too. First of all, we have Antionette in the building. Say something to the people, Antionette.
Hey y'all, happy 2022. I am excited and blessed that we are here together and able to continue our discussions. So I am ready to get this on and popping. And like you were saying, JD, my condolences and my love and light to you and your family as we also experience some losses. Um, these last couple of weeks, one of my mentors also passed. So, as we're dealing with a lot of losses on this realm, we have to remember that we're gaining a lot on that spiritual realm. So, guide and light and love, and let's continue together.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Antoinette. And my condolences go out to you and your family as well. So we have another lovely guest in the building. You all know her as the one, the only, the Alabama church girl. Say something to the people, Val.
Beep, beep, toot, toot. Hey, good people. It's your Alabama church girl here. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life, even in 2022. And to all the leader saints and friends, welcome, welcome on in. Hey, JD,
Yes,
Antoinette,
ma'am.
can we touch and agree? Can we touch and hold hands?
Yeah,
I just want to reach out and
please,
touch you. I just want to reach out
please.
and touch you, give you some love and
Virtual
light
hands.
because honey, all of us have experienced some loss this year, but I know that God has so much more for us to gain. Um, yeah, please check on your friends. Check on your friends.
Mhm.
Because not only have people experienced loss, some people are feeling lost. So please check on your
Mhm.
friends.
Absolutely. We definitely need to do that. So, y'all, I haven't seen y'all all year. It's been a long year. So, just before we get started, how was everybody's New Year, Christmas, holiday, all that good stuff?
It was
Anybody?
fairly well. It was fairly well. I got to rest. I was off of work. I got to eat and just enjoy my space. So, it's much needed. Like we say, you need to realize your space is your space, and you have the right to enjoy it and not have it be ran by anybody else. So I came to that realization, recame to that realization. So that was good.
Okay,
Amen.
absolutely. I can dig it. Alabama church girl, what about you?
Well, Christmas, I don't know why. I wasn't in the spirit this year. Usually, JD, I will put that Christmas tree up. I want to wrap every gift all special and nice and put special ornaments on the gift. Tie my personal bows and put a little special ornament that I know that that person would enjoy. This year, I wasn't with it. I threw that tree up. It probably had 3 ornaments on it.
Only three ornaments.
It did. It had
Not
lights on it.
three.
But
Well,
I wasn't
listen.
with it for Christmas. But now New Year's Eve, I was all about it. I was in the game for New Year's Eve because I'm excited about what this new year has to offer. I'm really excited about the reset. Even my mindset, setting new goals and expectations. And you know how we normally get caught up in setting goals on what our career aspirations are going to be and what kind of financial gains we want for the
Mhm.
year. This year, I did something different. My vision board is to become a better me on the inside. I had to really assess what did I do in this past year that did not bring me value. And now I want to do something different, modify this upcoming year so that I bring more value to myself in my spirit, my mind, my body, my soul. So I'm looking forward to 2022 and what it has to bring.
Absolutely, I can dig it. I feel like we're up for some good things this year. And
Yeah.
y'all, we're gonna be leveling up all 2022. Please believe it, y'all. Y'all just bear with me, and y'all will see. Y'all stick with the church. Keep sharing the videos. Keep liking the videos. Keep commenting in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna make it do what it do. All right, so y'all ready to go to work?
Of course.
I figured that you all would like this subject very, very much. And I don't have any backup tonight. So I'm going to try my best to hold my own with you ladies tonight. So, our first topic of the evening: can women be dominant in successful relationships? Or is a dominant woman part of a successful relationship? However, you want to answer that question, because let's just be honest. If we look around in 2022 already, this is the age of the boss chick. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be a boss. Everybody wants to be um, a boss chick. So nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. I'm not hating. I'm not going to stop you. But can women be dominant in a successful relationship? I want to hear from the Alabama church girl first. What do you have to say, Val?
You just set me up every time, don't you?
It's by design. It's by design.
I'm sure. So, JD, I think this question is a catch 22.
You think so?
I think so because I don't feel like either partner should be dominant. I think
Mhm.
that each partner should give 100%. I think each partner should take on leadership 100% because you are partners in leading your family into a legacy. That's the way I view relationship and partnership. That's just my opinion. Someone else may feel differently on how they structure their relationship, but that's the way I see it. Neither one, I don't want a man trying to be dominant over me. I don't. I don't. And I'm not going to try to be dominant over him either. I don't think that was God's design for our partnership. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, okay. I can dig that. I have some other thoughts about that, but let me go to Antoinette. What do you think? Can women be dominant in a relationship?
They could
In
be
a
dominant in
successful relationship?
Well, they could be dominant in their own space of the relationship. Like Val said, it needs to be a balance. So everybody is dominant in something, you know. Everybody has a different skill set that they can lead. So in order to be successful, everybody cannot be the Pied Piper per se. So to be successful in a relationship, hey, um, you have to be dominant on some aspect. You know, somebody has to take the lead. But for women who tend to quote unquote be boss chicks or claim that title are sometimes dealing with a lot of insecurities and things that they're not handling. And if you are taking dominance over someone, that means that you are lacking in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So when it's being displayed into others, you're being abusive. So that's not healthy, which then leads to an unsuccessful relationship. So, no, um, a woman nor a man needs to be dominant for an all around successful relationship because that's an oxymoron. That's impossible. So when we deal with boss chicks and boss titles, it depends on how they're displaying themselves. Are they really being a boss chick within their home because that's the only place that they're able to regulate? Because then when they step out in the world and on the job, their relationships are crumbling. So that's the only space that they are able to be or to claim a boss chick. So it depends on which aspect of the relationship we're claiming to be a boss.
Okay, I can dig that. So, judging kind of by what both of you ladies were saying, Are y'all looking at dominant as a negative trait or as something in a bad way?
So what how do you define dominant? Because the way I see it is when you say dominant, that means they're going to dominate over me, or I'm
Mm,
going to dominate over him, as if I'm dragging this person along. You going the way I said
mm,
go. You're going to do it how I want to do it.
mm,
No, I think both of us should have strong leadership characteristics, and both of us should bring those to the table. And it's similar to what Antoinette said. You learn how to, bob and weave. Who's taking the lead today? Oh, okay, you got me this week. Oh, okay, I got you next week. and and
mm,
and understand how to work out the relationship together. And ultimately, you're traveling in the same direction together.
mm. I can kind of see your point of what you're saying about dominant and dominate or whatever, but I think of it more as a character trait of somebody who leads, because you don't have to dominate somebody to have a dominant personality or to be a dominant leader. I think that it becomes problematic when you don't have some sort of a balance, because if you just want to take work for example, your supervisor or your boss doesn't necessarily dominate you, but they're in a dominant position because they're the leader, they're the team lead, they're the supervisor, they're the manager, or whatever. So I'm always, let's not think about the bad management. Let's think about management in a positive way, because I don't want this to be looked at, in necessarily a negative way. But anyway, your supervisor isn't the supervisor one day and then somebody else's supervisor next day. To me, that kind of causes an imbalance, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. That's kind of my whole point in asking this question, because if a woman is dominant in a relationship, then that means she's typically dominant most of the time. Does it mean that the man is not capable of being dominant and being a leader? Maybe in some cases, but I think that uh, being dominant is just more of a leadership characteristic. You know what I'm saying? Just like Over the Top said, shout out to her. We can both be better at certain things in a relationship. That's usually how it is, right? Men and women are a little bit different, right? In a relationship, but there needs to be one person who yields to one person at the end of the day. And I kind of agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I just kind of pointed out, that kind of causes a little bit of an imbalance, in my opinion. If the energies are kind of switched. Does that make sense?
It does, but you also need to see how we're playing upon titles. And if we're understanding the construction of boundaries and everybody's scope at that point in time and situation, then yes, everyone's position per se would depend on who's dominating that role in the relationship. So we need to understand where are we going with this construction of dominating in these titles, because when we don't understand and we don't have effective communication like we've pinpointed before, the understanding of being dominated or the understanding of being submissive or the understanding of your position, right, would be misconstrued. So when you asked us what is our understanding of being dominated, we kind of took that into our experiences, right, of it being in a negative point of view. Because if you're saying dominating, like Val said, that means to just, oh, I'm dragging you along. But if you're saying it as far as with a leadership, for example, in a job, then yes, is that leader leading us in the right direction, or are they giving us different um, skill sets to make us grow and flourish? So it depends on how we are putting that puzzle piece of that title.
Mm. Go ahead, Alabama church girl.
So shout out to Over the Top for coming through with the dictionary definition. And it does say to exercise control over. And that's what I hear when I hear you use the word dominate. Um, when you explained how you view it, what I heard from you was that you're explaining a hierarchy when you use the example of the supervisor versus those that are being supervised. But
Mm-hmm.
even in a supervisory role, that supervisor has to yield to the talents and the strengths of those people. They have to know they can't just be dominant. Like this is my show and you're just a part of it. They have to yield and say, wait, you are a part of my team. This is a team effort. Otherwise, no work, no productive work will be done if they're exercising control over the team. There's a
Mm-hmm.
way to to me there's a difference in leadership and control. Now,
Mm-hmm.
a good leader does maintain control and order, but they don't have to take control over someone. They understand how to speak to people and communicate and in a sense manipulate people getting productive work done.
Mm-hmm. I can
And
dig that.
can I use an example,
Yeah,
a
sure.
personal example?
Mm-hmm.
Me and my husband both have dynamic personalities. We can either one of us loud and it's boisterous. What we love to entertain, and we when we have other couples over and other guests over, typically I yield to his personality because he likes to be at the grill, he likes to be at the stove, he likes to cook, he likes to entertain. So I yield to that. And then I afford him my talent of hosting. I'm going to set out the spread. I'm going to have it decorated nice. And I yield to that. So we both of us have in to use your term a dominance, but I yield to his in in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I can dig that. I like what Over the Top just asked for a question. She says, "Does a team have a coach?" Um, yeah, yeah. Teams definitely have coaches, and if you want to put it in those terms, a coach plays many different parts, right? A coach has to teach. A coach has to uh, uh, understand his players. A coach has to come up with the plays. A coach has to call the plays, right? And then the players have to go execute the plays. So if you wanna if you wanna look at it kind of like that, everybody on the team is understanding that we're on the same mission and we're trying to accomplish the goal. If the team wins, it's not just the coach that wins; it's everybody that wins. You know, when Alabama wins the national championship on January the 10th at
Oh my
7
God.
p.m.,
Oh my
Nick
God.
Saban is not going to be the only one that gets a ring. Everybody's going to get a ring. You know what I'm saying?
Feel it.
So, but everybody is on the same page. Everybody understands what the mission is, and everybody wants to go the same way. So, let me ask this question. So, do you think that a woman that's dominant in the relationship, a woman that quote unquote is wearing the pants in a relationship, does that lead to a successful relationship? Let's start with you, Antoinette.
It can lead to a successful relationship because everybody has to follow suit at some point in time. There's highs and lows. So if that woman is dominating as far as with being the head of household based on the situation at hand, then yes, absolutely. And to play into the question with the team, yeah, if the man is feeling some type of way, then that coach is going to be your therapist. So we're going to go to couples therapy, and that coach is going to guide us into ways that the husband or the boyfriend, fiance, whoever at that point in time can come up with ways to um, assist with the relationship while the woman is leading the way, basically. So, yes, you could have a successful relationship with the woman being the head of household and following suit at the top of the relationship.
Alabama Church Girl, it's on you. Go ahead.
Kayla
I
is
can dig
reading my mind. Kayla is
that.
reading in my mind in the comments. Is it possible? Yes, because that's the way some people choose to manage their relationships. Is it what I want? No.
So you're saying you don't want to be dominant in a relationship. You
No.
don't want to wear the pants in a relationship.
No. And like I said, I don't want my husband dominating over me in the relationship either.
So you don't want your husband to wear the pants in the relationship either.
I don't want him dominating over me in the relationship.
Okay,
The title.
so does we all know the cliche, right? So does your husband wear the pants in the relationship?
Both of us lead.
So
Balance.
both of y'all have on pants.
Both of us have a leadership role in our relationship.
Mm, okay. Okay, I can dig that. And I do like what Kayla said in the comments. Every relationship is different. There is no universal one size fits all, and I dig that. That is very true. But I also believe that we're more alike than we are different. You know what I'm saying? Especially in this culture. Over the top says it's possible, but that's an imbalance. I tend to agree with over the top a little bit, and the reason I say that is because if you have children, right, and a decision has to be made uh, about the child, right, and let's just say uh, the lady has one view, the man has one view, but you can't do both. But a decision has to be made. What happens?
Compromise.
Hmm.
Who compromises?
Both.
Depends on the situation. Hmm.
Well, how if a decision has to be made, dominant, as in my right hand is dominant or dominating like a ruler. Yeah, kind of, sort of like your right hand is better than your left hand. Me, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with my right hand, but my left hand leads the way, and my right hand usually assists. You know what I'm saying? My left hand
But
is
if
getting that top off, right? But my right hand is holding the base. You know what I'm saying? To help me get the top off.
Exactly. Both have a role.
Yeah, both have a role. But the left hand, the dominant hand, right, is doing the brunt of the work.
If
but
you
if you're
think
ambidextrous,
so.
How many people are ambidextrous?
I am.
But you
Well, you are, but how many people are? I'm not.
okay, try getting
Well,
that top
you
off
could work to be.
with
You
the
could
right
work
hand only.
at it,
Wait a
right?
minute.
But you could
Wait.
work at it.
Well, yeah, you
Work
can
on
work at it, and I tried, y'all. I tried. I practiced as
Because
much as I could to try to use my right hand. I can't do it.
look,
It got better.
try getting that top off without
Uh,
using the other hand. Just try keep screwing.
what
See
are you
where it
doing?
gets you.
Yeah. Oh, over the top said drop the link. Okay, I'll drop the link. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drop the link right now. If over the top and anybody else wants to come up to give their perspectives, you are most certainly welcome to do so. I'm familiar with Over the Top. She has a very good channel over there. Excellent content creator. But yeah, so I just dropped the link. So if anybody wants to come up to give their perspectives, you are more than willing to do so. Um, And let me go back to Big Mac Fisher. So this one. So that's kind of what we were talking about. I believe before you got in the comments, we were kind of looking at it a little bit different of a way because I think for the most part that people look at that as a negative thing when sometimes it is a negative thing, but to me, not most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's kind of like that word submission too. So, a lot of people think that's negative when it's really not. All that really means is cooperation. But we got Colette with Over the Top in the building. Say
Hey
what's up
guys.
to people.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, first of all, hi ladies.
Greetings.
Hi, I've been watching you guys for some time now. You guys do an amazing job over here. I mean, he's just throwing it at you guys and you guys are just batting it right back.
That's how we do over here.
Yes. So I just had to jump in because I felt like the word JD was bringing up, dominant, was kind of like a cuss word to you guys. It was like ringing your ears. Like, no, he's not going to dominate over me. And it kind of reminds me of when people hear the word submissive, like how I see people's reactions or how they answer to it as if it's a cuss word. And I had to grow to realize in my marriage, first of all, I've been married for 11 plus years to my husband. I got married when I was about 25 years old, 25, 26 years old. And um, we have two kids. And we both was not raised in a two-parent household. So not necessarily being shown what does marriage look like for a husband and for a wife. So I just like to put that out there because people feel as if for you to have a successful marriage in a perfect world, yes, you should be raised in a two-parent household, but we can make decisions that we want for our lives if we really want it. We can walk into that room and, you know, design it the way we want it, no matter how we were raised. Would it be hard? Yes. So I just wanted to put that out there first. I I had to learn submissive. What does that look like? And what does that feel like? Okay. It means for me, I still have my power. I still have my power. I don't have to give that away. I relax in what God has given me, the powers that God has given me. And I'm okay with the powers that God has given my husband, the responsibilities that he has given my husband. I don't want those responsibilities. I don't want to feel um, the brunt or like JD was saying responsible for what he has to go through, what he has to provide as the man. Um, so I submit and submit being submissive, it could mean in a lot of different ways. So when I hear dominant, I relate it back to that. Like my husband is dominant over me, not in the sense of he's a dictatorship. That's not the format of I believe what JD is trying to convey, but it's mostly just trying to say that listen, you never see a car that has two steering wheels. A car has one steering wheel. One person has to drive. If you have someone that is the passenger, that passenger does not have control of the stick shift, does not have control of the steering wheel. There's a reason why. There has to be one person at the end of the day that carries out the final word. Does that mean that passenger does not have a say so? No. And I think that's where some people get lost in feeling as if your powers, your words, what you bring to the relationship is insignificant. And that is absolutely wrong. That is why I also use the analogy of a coach and a team. The team is very important to winning that Super Bowl game. That coach is very important. Do both of them ever hold the same power? No. Both are very important in their own different ways. Relax in that. Relax in you being the wife, you holding that power. He could never be a wife. He does not want to be a wife. And I'm pretty sure he does not want you to be the husband. He is quite confident in him being that. And that's okay. You're not less than him. He doesn't feel that he's dictator over you. And whatever you bring to the table is as if he's not going to listen to you. If that's the type of relationship people are in, that's not a marriage. That's a dictatorship. So with all that said, I know it was a mouthful, but I feel passionate about that because I feel people get the wrong idea of what a marriage looks like, as if it is you don't have a power, you don't have your voice, you don't have a say so, and it's absolutely wrong. And I'm not saying you guys are saying that. I'm not. So that's what I have to say to that.
And I like what Over the Top said. And before the analogy with driving a car or whatever, before two people get in the car, 9 times out of 10 they have an understanding that we have a destination that we're going to get to, right? And the driver is responsible for getting both of you there safely and on time. You know what I'm saying? So, Alabama church girl, I see your face. Come on and talk to us. What you got to say?
What is
And
my
and while we doing that,
Is it
I'm gonna
telling you
bring.
my braces are cutting me?
I don't know. We're about to find out. But while you giving your thoughts, I'm gonna go ahead and bring Big Mag up, and then we'll get to Big Mag in a second. Go ahead, Val.
So I do I appreciate you over the top for putting that definition in the comments, because that's exactly when you put the definition up, that's exactly how I heard the word when JD first mentioned it, is to exercise control over. And that's, I think, maybe not just the connotation is wrong, but I think maybe the word was not the best word, because that word dominant, I'm not relating it back to submissive, because even with submissiveness, we submit one to another, and I have no issue with submission. I have no issue with working together and establishing how we want to manage our relationship. Every relationship is different. I say this all the time, that every couple, no matter who they are, when they enter into that relationship, they get to determine how they're going to manage their relationship. I personally just would not want to dominate over my husband, and I don't want my husband to dominate over me. Maybe it was the not the best choice of words, but I heard the word just like the definition stated it, to exercise control over.
Antoinette, it's on you.
No, I definitely agree with Val, because my ears, even though they're covered, were pinged up for, oh, control, not control like Janet Jackson control, but control as in too much, to where it would cause a lot of division, and to where we would be hitting a brick wall. Now, my word that I think of, if we're going in a positive light, would be more of a protector. Am I going to be protected by my man, who is my shield and I am his rock? Absolutely. Am I also going to protect him in my skill sets, which would be with finances and groceries and cooking and whatever? Everybody has a role. So, um, like we were saying, it's just the choice of words and how we're placing this in uh, being a successful relationship based on a couple. So to be dominant is not the light in which I've experienced it to be as we're discussing it, but different words that I see in this position are such as protector and to provide, etc. But definitely I did not see it in the light of in which we're discussing for a positive aspect.
Okay, I can dig that. We just having a conversation, right? So we got Big Mag the Fisher in the building. Thank you so much for joining us, Big Mag. What do you have to say about the topic?
I want to say that Over the Top said so much of what I was thinking to say and how I feel. Um, we can't redefine words, and the word dominant has just taken on in relationships, particularly with women. It's taken on such a bad taste. It's dominant. That's why I put the comment like, do you mean dominant like I'm right handed? Or do you mean dominant like a ruler? See, the definition has been redefined when it comes to relationships. And I think the word dominant is taking like it's getting a bad rap. It means just simply what it is, dominant, not dominating over, this is not you know, slavery. This is not ruling. This is not take your shoes off, go fix me a sandwich. It's about when you have a family, it's about getting your family from one point to the other, being a success, having a trajectory, um, basically enshrining your legacy, taking care of your children, taking care of your wife, the wife taking care of the husband. Males and females have roles in a relationship. I've seen in my marriage, I've been around some well to do couples financially. I'm talking very well to do couples. Even in those relationships where two of the women making way more than the husband, she was still a wife. He was still the husband. He was still dominant, not in some way where he's telling her to sit down and be quiet, but you can tell by their relationship that all of their earnings were the family's money. All of their relationships outside and interacting with other people like ourselves were a reflection of their relationship. At no point did I see a domination or anything like that coming from the woman. But in the ones I see where the women seem to be dominant, those dudes were just simps. They were handpicked, sit down, and I'm Gen X. I grew up in a house with three sisters, right? I have single aunts, who were late 70s and 80s. My parents were married. My mother was a traditional wife. She didn't go to school until my youngest sister. She didn't go to work until my youngest sister went to school, but my father was able to take care of the household. He was a big, burly Alabama dude, 6'2", big muscle, big guy. My mother was a feminine, beautiful woman, but my mother can give him a look and stop him in his tracks. When it came time to do things and to handle business, they were at the table. Even at times when I know in my young years that my father may have been whatever, and my mother may not have agreed, there was still counsel from my mother in any aspect where my father had doubt. But a family of six, everybody knew that my father was the dominant one. At no time in my life did I see my mother have any dominance. And it's taking such a bad word because it's like, I don't know. As a divorcee, I'm more appreciative of femininity now. Like all of the relationships I had where well, for lack of a better word, where the woman is rearing up, I ended them. And I didn't know. It was just as a man, some feeling in me, not knowing what it is. And now being introduced to these space and with therapy, I know what it was. I can't deal with no dominant woman. A dominant woman to me doesn't seem the feminine archetype that I see women to be. So it's not about ruling over. It's not about putting somebody in a place. It's about, I'm a man. I have to do my job for my family. And that's just what it's going to be if we're going to be a family. There can't be the constant question of what we're going to do with our kids. There can't be the constant question of we're going to make a left or a right turn. No, we have a trajectory. Let's all play our roles. Like, for instance, and just to say it, a lot of people get judged. Anyway, I'm in two of the longest relationships I had. One of these black women ascended to be a police lieutenant. The other one became a DNP, which is a doctor of nursing practice. So it's not about, no, I don't, no one can ever say that, oh, I put somebody, they can't grow, blah, blah, blah. No, they all wind up making way more than I did. But they also showed their butt the more money they made, because they felt that the money bought them out of playing their role in the relationship. And that's something I see. That's the problem we have. Black people have a big problem with not understanding what our roles are when it comes to that money. That money seems a lot of people buying the ways out of what they're supposed to do. So this is something we need to address too. No matter what the house is making, that money belongs to the house. No matter how much money is in the house, there's still roles in the house. Not to say that mama got to do all the cooking. No. Man, I've cooked better than every relationship I had. I am the better cook. Bottom line, I am the better cook. I cook well because when my mother went to work, my older sister, 18, was out of the house. She went off to college. I was 13 years old. So my mother at work, in order to take care of the family, my role was I had to take things out, start the meals and blah, 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 blah. I had to check my sister's homework before we can all go outside, all these things. But it was a family dynamic and everybody had a role. So I think that dominant has a bad word. It leaves such a, and I saw the reactions when the word came up. And having 3 sisters, 8 nieces, some relationship time in my 55 years, I can see the cues and almost figure out what the thought is. Men will never figure out what a woman is thinking. Let's get that right. But I can get in the ballpark of what the thinking is when you hear the word. And that's the problem we have. We have this bad thing about the word.
I think it was a bad word. I think it was a bad word. Over the top, put the definition in the comments. We read it. It was, the definition is to exercise control over. I think it was a bad word to use. What I hear you explaining is leadership, not dominance. That men have a leadership role in the relationship, not a dominant role. Because if I as a woman exercise control over a man, you said it yourself, then he is just a simp. He is considered less than. And the same thing goes with a man exercising control over a woman. Why would she do that? I remember my early 20s, I worked for the IRS. And there was this lady that worked with us whose husband exercised plenty of dominance over her. He controlled what she brought to work to eat. She was never to go out to lunch with us. He controlled what she wore to work. He controlled what time she better be home from work. He exercised plenty of dominance over her. And she was very dutiful in whatever his expectations were. That's what dominance looked like. And that's why I say I don't want to dominate over my husband. I'm not married to a simp. I'm married to a man.
Okay, can I
and I don't want him to dominate over me either, because he's not married to an infidel. He's married to a woman.
Well, sorry, over the top, just before you get in. And see, and this is precisely exactly what I mean. My father dominated over my mother, but it wasn't a bad, cruel way. See, this is what I mean. When you hear dominant, to exercise control over, my father exercised control over the house. So it wasn't in a cruel way. See, we automatically attach this cruelness and relay these other things and these bad things into the word. And I don't think, I think it's, again, I think when it comes to relationships, the word dominate has a bad rap. It's degrees to it also. But why do we have to pick the worst degree to tell the story about it? Like, why can't it be the subtle domination? Why can't it be the thing about a man's presence when he's on his mission? What about a man's, his energy when he's doing the right thing? That's very dominant. You know what I mean? So I don't, let's not like it always goes to the worst part when you hear it. And I see that a lot in relationships and people, especially talking to my sisters, my nieces. Like you see things like submission and dominance. It always goes to the far end instead of that small thing like, oh, I like his, I like how he look, I like how he walk. Look at him. What's up with that part? Why can't it be over there on a small part of the spectrum when we use the word? Because it is exercise and control love.
Could you
Okay.
consider the word leadership as a better word to use?
No, I won't use it because I have to lead and dominate to some degree in order to get things going in a certain direction. So I don't have
Roger that.
I don't have the far end of the spectrum definition. So for instance, I'm divorced now, but if I do encounter a woman who has the far end definition of dominance, I know it would never work. See, I have to have dominance in my leadership because I'm not bragging, but in a relationship, they cost money. In a relationship, I have a 6-year-old child from the marriage also. So there's finances involved, there's legacy involved. So if I don't dominate and lead in the next relationship, if I do get into one, there's a possibility for calamity. So I'm not saying that the future woman I meet or whatever will be is bad with finances. If she's better with finances, guess what? She will have domination in that area, but it won't be a cold, hard fisted domination because I myself understand there's degrees of domination. I happen to be good at finances. So if she's better at it, more than likely she'll have the realms of the finance. But I don't have that far end spectrum definition of what domination is. So it'll probably work for me more, it'll probably be more palatable for me.
Okay, I can dig that. Over the top. You want to jump in for a second?
Yeah, I sometimes what helps me is if I see an example. So I'm just gonna probably see if I could hopefully bring us to the middle. We don't have to all agree, but hopefully we could try to see in the middle. And my example would be, and I hear this around a lot, but to the ladies, if your house, if your house was to, if your house was to go into foreclosure, or you guys had to be homeless, who would the let's say who would who would who would be the person that someone would address the reason why something like that happened? Who would be the person they would address it to? Would they address it to the wife, or would they address it to the husband? Who made this situation happen? Whoever wants to go first.
Antionette, you want to take this? Because
So, based on the situation at hand, I'm going to say the logical thinker is the woman. And let me give an example. I've been in that situation where I afforded my partner at that time the opportunity to lead and to quote unquote dominate. But because he was too set in his ways of withholding a man position, saying, this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to do it this way, it was an epic failure. So, as the woman, I had to take care of the household and say, and put my foot down and say, listen, this is what the deadline is. If you don't execute this and that by this point of time, this U-Haul will get packed. We will be in this location, whether you are here or not. So, based upon the situation and the thinking, I would say the wife would need to lead the role because of the logical aspects, because we're dealing with different situations. If there's children involved, then yes. If that male is not, or man is not, um, taking control and not quote unquote dominating the situation, then yes, Houston, we have a problem. And the wife will need to be the one to take lead. Now, again, just to go back, I don't want to keep reattacking the same rigmarole of the definition of dominating and control. It is based upon the extreme of everyone's situation and experience. So when Val and I are saying the negative spectrum of dominating, we have said before it's based upon our experiences of this word and that upbringing and that viewpoint. Now, yes, are there different degrees and levels of it? Yes, but like you said, with your nieces and aunts, they clearly had a traumatic and an extreme experience that is related and tied to this word. And that is our problem as a community, because no, there is no fluff to when we are bringing up these topics. There is no light and cloudy um, portion of this definition of control, because that in itself is what it is. It is a control. And depending upon that experience of that individual will depend upon how extreme it is. And unfortunately, with the Black community, we have, especially with women, we have experienced it in a negative extreme. And like Val has said, that coworker, the way she dressed, ate, slept, probably how she washed herself, was pinpointed by that husband.
And she was
And
like this, not like this.
uh, okay. So, at the end of the day, yes, we need to address it. There is no, well, why this, why that? And I'm not saying, I'm not just, saying this to you. I'm just saying in general, yes, we don't need to ask why. We need to say it is what it is. This is exactly what's happening. And this is the why, because we are experiencing this. And if we don't express this the way we are on these type of platforms and these discussions, then we're just continuing to um, look at it through rose colored glasses, and we got to get there. We have to express these extremes and understand that this is, if this is something that's being expressed and experienced through, you know 8 nieces, aunts, and mothers and grandmothers, and so that means throughout these legacies and foundations that we're trying to build, that means we're still bringing on that trauma, we're still bringing on that experience, we're still bringing on that quote unquote control. And like you said, we're not speaking as far as with slavery, but let's call a spade a spade. That's where most of it is stemming from, because this is a learned behavior that has been embedded in our DNA. And that is another topic that we could reach at another hand. But with this particular topic of being dominated, yes, it all is intertwined, and we have to address it as such. This experience has been negative, but are there positives to it? Yes. When we put it into a spectrum and a definition of leadership, protector, roles, and how we are portraying it in that relationship as a balance, as a team, as a unit. And then how are we building that community through therapy, through those coaches, right? The therapists, through the grandmothers, through those that have become our advocates. That's how we can understand the extremes and the light extremes, quote unquote, of dominating a relationship. And maybe I know I went on, but that's where we kind of are seeing that from that viewpoint.
No,
I
you
got
all good. Go ahead, Val. It's on you.
um so the question was, if the family was to go into foreclosure, who do you think would be addressed regarding the foreclosure. And that's where my perspective of both of us are leaders in this relationship comes into play. I think both would be addressed or should be addressed. And I especially if you have two adults in the household, and it's not just one adult and children. You have two adults, then both should be addressed. How did you let this happen?
But usually though, I mean, typically.
Hold on, JD. Let her finish, because I'm gonna sum it all up. Let her finish.
The reason
Go
I
ahead.
say that is I'll use myself again as an example. My husband is a wonderful leader and a wonderful provider. He affords me the opportunity. He pays all the bills. I appreciate him for that. But as a leader as well in this relationship, I see that he's taking care of all these bills. I see that my husband loves for us to live in luxury. We're going to fly first class. We're going to stay in the 5-star hotels. Listen, I am just a little Alabama girl, born in the projects and raised in the suburbs, honey. I don't have to have all this. You know what I mean? But because I have the cognitive understanding to know that, hey, we always got to prepare for what's down the line. I'm working and I'm taking care of the savings. I'm helping to build that legacy on the other end so that if anything happens to him, I'm going to catch his rear because I'm his helpmeet. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to take control at that point and say, okay, baby, I got you. This is what we're going to do. I make sure that I keep my credit great just for a situation like that to come down. And I tell other young ladies that too. Always keep your credit great. Always have you a couple of $1,000s that is saved away. Always have you a storage unit just in case. Just in case, because that's making sure that we take care of the rear. We never know what could happen. Life could happen. He could up in one day say, you know what? I got all I wanted out of you. I'm gone. I gotta make sure I'm prepared.
Wow.
So ladies, so guys, before you answer, right? Guys, before you answer, I hear what you guys, ladies, what you have to say. I respect what you have to say. Thank you for your answer. Your answer is what happens behind closed doors. Men, can you tell ladies, what does society see it as? Who actually society looks at for that situation to have happened?
The man. If there is a couple homeless on the street, they're going to look at the man. There's going to be a bunch of questions. There's going to do everything. The man is going to be addressed with every question up and down.
And what I can do bad all by myself? Y'all have heard that?
Explain.
I can do bad all by myself. Like if I'm gonna do bad with you, I can do bad without you. I don't need a man. Like if you're not helping me with my situation, what are you here for? If you're not paying the bills, what are you here for? If I got to clean up your mess, what do I need you for? Y'all ever heard that?
Yeah, but I kind of think it leans into what I'm saying is that that man can do bad all by himself if he doesn't have a woman that's there that's gonna help him out.
No, I don't think JD is talking about a man, but
I know he's talking about it from a woman's perspective, but I'm flipping that coin because there's two sides to that coin. I'm flipping that coin and saying, okay, he could say, you know, I can do bad by myself if I'm carrying you and we still are in the ditch.
Can we stay on the one side for now? Right now,
right? I think we kind of got off. Yeah, I think we kind of got off a little bit, but that's okay. We'll bring it back. That's okay. I loved you guys' answers, ladies, but reality, what society looks at, and I love that when the young man said, if you guys are homeless on the street, they're not looking at the wife to say, why did you have your family on the streets? They're not looking at the wife to say, oh, your credit was great. Why didn't you make sure your husband was doing great? No, they're looking at that husband, that man, that leader the dominant one over that relationship at the end of the day. So does it mean that he was the dictator of that relationship? No, because you also said that you make sure that you, as a wife, participated in making sure that the bills were paid. That's your power that you had in there. That's great. But he was the dominant one at the end of the day that society looks at to make sure everything is all tucked in and tight, right?
So,
That
correction.
so
Are you referring to me? Because I right now my husband pays all the bills. What I said was I make sure that down the line, if anything happens to him, we could still make the bills be paid.
right. No, I'm saying that is correct, but I'm saying if everything falls apart within the example, I'm saying if you guys are homeless on the street, society is not going to look at you per se to say, why did you let your family be on the street? The first person they're going to look towards, maybe they'll look towards you second. The first person they're going to look towards is that husband, because they do have that role of being the dominant one over the family at the end of the day. And I know I do understand when you guys are saying that the word dominant does come with a historical bad connotation. I agree with you on that. But that does not mean that the word itself still hold reverence in a marriage. And if the husband is, you guys want to say the leader, yes, correct, but he is also the dominant one. And that is one of the examples of me saying if everything goes all wrong, they're not looking towards the wife as the first person. They're not looking towards you. Why didn't you make sure that your family was not taken care of? That's not the first person they're blaming. Maybe the second.
So, and may I just add this in? We are the word that I'm hearing across the board is society, right? We're saying society is looking at the male as being the dominant one, but then wouldn't are we going to speak about reality? Reality is the fact that it is the woman who then brainstormed everything and gets us out of this rut, because at the end of the day, and just based off of experience, and other situations that I've had discussions with couples, it was the woman, the wife, the girlfriend, fiance, whoever, that got them out of the rut, because they had to give that example that, hey, honey, why don't you go ahead and apply for this, that, and the other, to boost up that ego. But still, in the long run, it was because of the cushion that and the U-Haul and the storage unit and the rain checks and everything that was built from the woman with the emergency aspect that helped them out of this rut. Because when the situation happens, even though society is looking at the male to be that dominant figure, it's the woman that's getting us out of this rut based on the situation at hand. So I'm just, I'm just kind of putting that out there because that's what I'm hearing. Society, at the end of the day, society don't pay the bills and keep that roof over the head. Now, it may be society's influence that caused us to be in this situation because we was trying to keep up with the Joneses and made some bad decisions, X, Y, and Z. But reality is that I'm going to go ahead and have this brainstorm in this book and everything that's written down to get us back where we need to be at the end of the day. But then also stroking that ego, because I'm multi I'm multi handling everything at one time. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because I'm like, I am hearing society, but at the end of
Okay.
the day, I don't care about society. I'm caring about this reality of what I got to do.
Okay.
Mhm.
No, and I respect what you have to say. And with saying that, when it is when you're saying that now it's your strategy that has to go ahead and dig you guys out of the situation. I completely agree with you in that. And that is where we're powerful, right? That is our power, right? But do we miss the fact that he went out and he provided for that strategy to bring back to you so you could now strategize it? In a sense of he went out to go and slay that cow or slay that lion, bring it back to you. So now you could strip it. Now you could divide it up. Now you could see how many ways it could feed the family. You did not go out to slay, to do that heavy, heavy lifting that he had to go and do. Now, your part of what the strategy, what you're doing inside the home is very important. Is very important. But if you were to go out and slay that, and I say slay the lion because I'm trying to say that his part, what he has to do, is not the same of what you have to do. It's a little bit more dangerous. It's a little bit more that he has to put on his shoulder to go out there to gather that for you. So you could now help the family, yes, to come out of the situation. But they and he is not looking for you, even if you want to take society out of it. He is not looking for you to go out there and say, I know what, or he shouldn't. That's not a healthy marriage. He is not looking for you to go out there and work 5, 6 jobs, 7 jobs, and then turn around and figure out how you're going to pay the mortgage. No, he's looking for you to say, you know what? Hun, wife, I'm going to work these 5, 6, 7 jobs. I'm going to stay on my feet 10, 8, 9, 12 hours a day. You don't have to do that. But what I do need you to do is when I bring this money home, I need you to go ahead and strategize how we could split this money up so we could come out of this so we could come out of this situation. And your job in that is very important. His job in what he's doing, he does not want to burden you with that, because that is not what God created you for. That God created him for that. And that's why he is the dominant one to have that responsibility on him. So there is a hierarchy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Your power, what you hold in strategizing, is important. But his power, what he has in going out and slaying, is very important. But there's a hierarchy, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that there is a hierarchy. That's okay. And I think that's what we need to, in teaching our young ones coming up, understanding that the roles of a wife and the roles of a husband, because all of this has got convoluted in thinking that a wife needs to be like a husband. The wife is the one that's supposed to go out and work 10, 6, 7, 8 jobs. That's an imbalance in our society. That's an absolute imbalance. And taking the role, and the man is the one who is supposed to be laying back, kicking back. If he worked one job, he comes home, he's good. He's just going to ask his wife to still cook meals, and knowing good and well that he still have more hours in the day, and he should be out there to making sure he's pushing the family along. There's just been an imbalance. And I just want to say that women, we have our roles to play, and it's okay. But there is a hierarchy. Respect the hierarchy. That's okay. So I want the men to jump in on this.
Yeah, I definitely want to jump in. There was you are saying so much of what I want to say, but I do want to say I want to tell 2 stories, and I don't want to be so anecdotal because my life experience is not everybody's experience, even though there will be parallels and associations. I worked for MetLife in the late 90s doing financial planning. I sold investments and I sold insurance. And I started with my peers, the people I know, setting up young people. I want to say that all of the married couples who I've counseled financially, some families, some not. Even when we gather today, because, we all stay in contact, you're seeing their children graduate college, grandchildren coming. some of the things that I see in common with all of these couples that are together, financially, they have a mindset that every dime that comes in that house belongs to the family. I don't think there's ever been situations. I don't know because I don't know all of them personally. I don't know all. Hold on. I don't know in depth what all they're doing, but in discussing with them, they have the mindset that every dime comes in there belongs to the family. It's for the team. It's not for the wife to hold something to the side. When I divorced, had a great lawyer, $500 an hour. One thing he said to me, and one of the issues that we had is that when my ex-wife made more money, she seemed to be putting more money to the side, one foot out the door mentality. My lawyer said to me that of my 32 years of practicing, one thing that's in common, when women have those separate accounts, it's always at my table. He sees so few divorces where the money's commingled. Like, I'm not saying that to say it is a bad thing, but to have the mentality that you're not 100% on the team and the family, that's an indicator, whether you like it or not, no matter how it's viewed. But imagine if those thousands of dollars would have been in the pot, maybe it wouldn't have been a foreclosure situation. Maybe if we chose the proper man and relented to the roles in the marriage, we wouldn't have been in the foreclosure. This is modern times where both men and women are working not only jobs, but professional careers. But one thing, Over the Top said it. I'm hearing this so much. I see it every day. I had it in my life. That imbalance is what causes the problems. And people think that, oh, breakups or bad relationships come from violence and infidelity. It's a snowball effect. The snowball effect comes from that imbalance. I'm telling you this, God's honest truth, living the example and seeing it with my contemporaries. That imbalance is what causes all the problems. Okay, you got your master's, you work over at IBM, you're knocking down 200, whatever it is. But the minute you start behaving as if that money doesn't belong to the family, that's where the problems start. Or if you're putting in more hours than the husband and the roles aren't forming to where, okay, maybe if your job is more valuable, he can stay home more. But if you think that there's a parity and there's child rearing and things of that nature, that, oh, well, I got a job too. It's in balance. I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying that. But like Over the Top was saying, if a man is sitting home playing this PS5 when you come in the door, that's a problem. And it's both of you. It's your choice. It's your choice to stay and the choice you made. It's the choice he made. It's the choice he made to not go work. Any spare time, any spare money, that's the families. Well, I don't know. We've gone away from because Black people have been so conservative. Again, like you, my family's from Alabama, my mother from Gaston, my father from Bessemer. Black people have been conservative, and we lived in conservative ideals, which were family focused and about progression. We are so far away from that. And these ideals, I see how they tie into so many things that are destructive of relationships today. Not to say anybody's relationship is destroyed. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the ideals that we have are causing the wedges. They're causing the imbalance. Like me as a man, every relationship I've had, I've been 100% in with money, everything else. 2 of the long-term relationships I had, one marriage and one long-term, oh, they had their little kitty to the side. It was amazing when we put everything on the table, I was amazed at how much was on the side. And I used to always hear her say, well, in the case this happened, the case this happened. But, I'm a modern man living in modern times and think, oh, yeah. This is what everybody told me. This is how I live. This is how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Queen, she. But we got to we have to, there is a dominance. There are roles. And I need not anything from my woman in order for me to go out there and handle the world, aside from like her support, her vision, making sure everything is okay. What I need from you, I need you to take your shoulder and put it in my back when I'm standing out there fighting the world. That's what I need. I don't need you right here with me. as strong as I am, as resourceful as I am. In some ways, yes, some ways not. But what I need from you is the role, because your role amplifies my role so much that it's hard for the modern woman to see today. They don't understand that your role amplifies me. And but then I'm a 55-year-old man. Hey, I'm a divorced.
Hey, Big Mac, I can dig it, man. And I want to read these comments on the screen from Jay Emmanuel. Let me just throw this out there real quick. If y'all haven't subscribed to Jay Emmanuel yet, go over and do that. When we get done with this, and make sure y'all check out the live that we did over on his channel yesterday with the men chat. Awesome, 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 strong brother. But I think that um, when we talk about being dominant and the man taking the lead, I think that not everybody's, but I think that a lot of people's mind goes to Mister in the color purple. You know what I'm saying? When that, yeah, you had situations like that, but that was not necessarily the norm, and that is definitely not every man. And if you're looking to treat somebody like that, then you need to look at your own self in the mirror. But if you're looking at a pride of lions, right? That male lion has got to be willing to fight to protect the pride, right? If the man is not willing to get up and fight, then the woman is not going to respect that man either, right? If somebody is trying to get in your house, or if somebody gets in your house at night, you're expecting the man to get up and go handle that, right? And I believe that any man would want to get up to handle that, to protect his woman, to protect his kids, wife, significant other, whatever. And just like Big Mac said, if he's not willing to do that, then I think that that's a problem. Both of y'all don't need to be out there trying to be the dominant one fighting. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to come lick my wounds when I get done fighting. You feel me? If I'm hurt, you hurt, both of us scarred up, scraped up, that ain't gonna do us no good. You know what I'm saying? But men need that inspiration from the women to keep on going. It's never a situation where men want to just beat on their chest, me man, you woman. It is not like that. We got to be a team on this, and everybody has to uh, grab a hold to the vision. You know what I'm saying? Because just like Jay Emmanuel said in the comments, the struggle for many couples is continuing to operate as individuals after entering into marriage. Ideally, the couple will prioritize the collective over the individual, right? So if you're looking at the collective, then you understand that there is a mission, and you can't be on two separate missions at the same time. Somebody's going to have to yield to the mission, right? And let's just be honest, most women, not all, most women do not respect a man that cannot be confident, that cannot take control, and that cannot lead. No woman wants a man with a weak back. Let's just be honest about it. And just like Big Mac said just a second ago, typically, not all, but most think that it's all about a money thing. You know what I'm saying? If a lot of women, you'll hear them say it, I need to be with somebody that's making at least what I'm making, if not more. I can't be with somebody that's making less than me, because for most people, it's a respect factor. You know what I'm saying? It's about the money. I said this over on Jay Emmanuel's channel last night. a while back, I was dating someone, and we were kind of having a conversation similar to this, and she said, "Oh well, if I'm making just as much as you are, then you need to be able to submit to me. If I tell you we need to get up and move, then you need to be able to get with the program, right? But if I was making the most money, then she can submit. If I'm making the most money, paying all the bills, then everything is all good. But y'all, we have reached our time. We usually try to keep these at about an hour and a half. But before we go, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And there's one more. Let me see. Where did I leave off? Collective J. Emmanuel also said, I enjoy dialogues like this so much. We let each person speak and genuinely listen without trying. Exactly. We just having a conversation. You understand what I'm saying? This is how we genuinely learn and grow together. Amazing. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, Emmanuel. Yeah, we did a awesome thing over there yesterday, and I can't wait to work with him again. But over the top. I know you said you have to go in just a second, and we're about to get ready to wrap up. Do you have any last words before we go?
I really just have to give it up to these ladies. I mean, every time I come over here, they are here, they are on point, and thank you for welcoming me over here and not, feeling as if we don't agree, but it needs to be a attack mode. I appreciate that so much, and it just shows that exactly what real to what's his name, right to real love with Emmanuel had to say about we can have these discussions, we can have these tough conversations and it not look like it's a cat fight or it's we're talking over each other, and we are the representation that the mainstream media does not want to see. So I appreciate you guys having the conversation with me, and I will definitely be back. Sometimes I might not come in the chat, but I am listening, and I appreciate all of you guys. JD, I appreciate you letting me up here, and the young man, I don't know your name; it's not showing up.
Big Mag.
Big Mac, Big Mac, Big Mac. I appreciate your input as well. You should have had my back a little more though.
I have everybody's back, trust me, but yours more so.
All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, shout out to Colette. You can come back anytime. Thank you so much for joining us. Big Mac the Fisher, do you have any final comments you want to make before we go?
Yes, and I'll be quick. I think what we are getting away from that dynamic of what makes a successful relationship. Listen, everybody's doing their thing. Everybody has a right to do their thing. I think we have demonized not only the roles, but even these words. There are so many idiosyncrasies. We demonize everything so much. And like you were saying, JD, there is a lot of color purpling going on in our world and our relationships in the society. Not everything is bad out there. The successes happen when we have balance. And I'm going to tell you, as someone who came from the financial planning field years ago, I noticed that dearly. Married households have 4 times the wealth of individual households. And when couples operate properly on that family mission, you're going to need a driver. Ladies, even if he has to pull over on them long trips and you take the wheel for a little while, but when you get in the car, who's going to be doing the driving. That's all I'm saying. It's not such this bad thing. A man feels fulfilled when he does have that ability to have dominance over his household. And yeah, I'm talking a small part of the scale over here, not the big spooky part of dominance of take your shoes off and make me a sandwich. I'm not over there. But As a man, I'm put on this earth for a reason, you know? And I heard one of you ladies say it earlier, you're a helpmeet. Let's get the mission completed. I'm always going to seek your counsel. I need your counsel. I can't even move the family forward without your counsel. That's what we got to start thinking about. Thank you. Thank you for having me up. I'm going to be tuning in. You know, I ninja watch you. So I'm going to make
Oh,
sure that,
okay, nothing wrong with that.
drop a chat and everything from now and time again. But it was nice. And yes, I am glad. This won't make money because they don't want to see stuff like this. They want to see us throwing stuff at the screen.
Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true.
This ain't gonna make no money. But I hope a lot of young kids get the chance to hear things like this, you know, because they're gonna see your ideas, they're gonna see my ideas, and there's a middle ground.
Mm.
Some
Absolutely.
and some of it needs to be on Antionette's size and the all church girl. So some of it needs to be over there, some of it needs to be over here. But you know, they can come to a middle ground, they can see it. And it's about applying best practices. And that's what we're away from. We're not applying best practices. We're applying, I got to get mine.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And Happy New Year, everybody.
Hey, shout out to you, Big Mag. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much. You can come back anytime, my man. And if you think somebody could get something out of this, man, do me a favor and share the video. It's all love over here, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, I will. Good night.
All right, good night, man. All right, ladies, we are back to the three amigos. I think we started with the Alabama church girl, so we're going to end first with Antionette. What do you have to say to wrap up the subject? Y'all are so smart and so intelligent. I love it.
Just to wrap it up, once we start recognizing the barriers as far as with communication and understanding our roles and responsibilities and who's driving and who's, uh, goes riding the whip and everything that comes into play, we can create a balance of understanding where we're trying to go with this. I really appreciated every viewpoint that we were able to discuss and elaborate on this evening. Hopefully, we can reattack this at some other time and understanding where we all are coming from in order to heal these empty wounds of survival and understanding as far as with experiences are across the board. So I appreciate the time, the panel, the insight, and the experiences. And of course, there's not enough time in the 24-hour time frame, but hopefully, again, we can reattack this again. JD, thank you for everything you've allowed us to discuss. And I am looking forward to a great 2022.
Hey, yo, you ain't seen nothing yet, Antoinette. You ain't seen nothing yet. We just getting started. But you already know I love to do part two. So yeah, we gonna definitely revisit this. And let me just throw this out there. Y'all already know we didn't get to the second topic again this week, but we'll carry it over to another week. So Alabama Church Girl, what do you want to say to end us out?
We sure can talk, can't we?
Y'all are doing good. Y'all are doing real good. I love it.
So, as I always say, every couple enters their relationship defining how they're going to manage their relationship. Mm-hmm. Someone put it in the chat. There is no one size fits all. But as for me in my house, I ain't never gonna let me, my husband, my son get put out on the street. Because just as he's out working and paying bills and spending money on the family, I'm out working and saving and looking for investments for the family. It's all for the same mission, all for the same goal for the family. So no, just because we're not doing the same thing doesn't mean that we're not on the same mission. But that's for me and my house. That might not fit your house. but that's for me in my house. I do appreciate the conversation. I do appreciate the debate. I really do. I enjoy it. I enjoy
Absolutely.
it because
Yeah,
I
I know.
start to turn.
Yeah, right. I noticed at one point all three of us were up here like this. Yeah, we were all up into it. That's what's up. Shout out again to Jay Emmanuel. He says, yes, both of you ladies are amazing and so insightful. They are not here by accident. It is all by design. And Emmanuel, he hosts a show over there on his channel. He says, I know that feeling, JD. That's why I started only doing one topic. Yo, I can't lie and say that hadn't crossed my mind a couple of times because, sometimes the conversations get good, you know what I'm saying? Just like they did tonight. And I don't really want to stop it. I want to keep it going. But yes, the same mission is so important. Big Mag is laughing in the comments. So, well, thank you so much, Jay Manuel. I try my best, man. I try my best. But y'all, our time is far spent tonight. Another great topic, another great conversation. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for joining us in the comments. Do me a favor, like the video if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with somebody that you think might get something out of it. Because if you got something out of it, I guarantee somebody else will be able to get something out of it too. But Happy New Year to y'all. Happy holidays. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And my name is JD, aka Mr. December.